Madurai, city of Meenakshi Amman, and a city which bears the glory of several thousand years of civilization, rich cultural and commercial heritage, the city which had embassies in Rome. The kings of this place had their embassies in Rome. That was the level of transaction, and they were worried about the balance of trade because we were exporting so much that they were under stress. To coming to such a city which is known for its energy and enterprise, and also, rightly so, called Tunga Nagara, a city that doesn't sleep. For me, it's not only a privilege, it's like getting myself recharged. Thank you very much for this opportunity that you offered me, Faisal. Young India, I had the opportunity to meet him before, and every time I met this young man and his friends, I felt immensely happy. Immensely happy at the fact that our country has young men and women who are keen on challenging the very challenge itself and to take the country forward. Friends, when I see such an assembly of young people, all the young, you are, as our friends from CII mentioned about, you do not wish just to be confined to Madurai or to the state or the nation, to the world. He rightly said, because today India is not just looking at itself, but is looking at the world at large. And in fact, more than India looking at the world is looking at India today. The world is looking at India for leadership, for ideas, for innovations, for way forward into an uncertain future. And when I see the young galaxy of young people full of ideas, energy and action, I feel encouraged. For a very, very long time, right from independence, the country has been led by people who are fairly old, elderly, if I don't use the word old. Mostly they're very old people. Most of the time we have been looking at the young generation as with a kind of a condescending attitude that, okay, we will make a future for you. No. Things have changed, the times have changed. Today, the nation's vision is aligned with the aspirations of the young people. And that is why we are trying to take this country forward according to the vision of yours. Because future is yours. When we say our national vision as Viksit Bharat 2047, as a fully developed India 2047, what does it mean? It means the India which you will be managing, you will be at the commanding heights wherever you are, each one of you. It will be your India. And since it will be your India, you must have a say, in fact a decisive say, how this India should be shaped. And that is where the views of the youth are so important. And we like to say, we like to build this country led by youth. That's the reality. And if you look at it last 10 years, a country which was 10th, 11th in the economy, world economy, if we have grown to the 5th, it is because of whom? If India is the fastest growing large economy in the world today, it's because of who? It's because of the young people. Young entrepreneurs, young MSME people, young energy. If from the nowhere in the world of a startup, we're hardly a few hundred about 10 years back. Today we are among the leading startup ecosystem in the world. It's because of our young men and women who have done so. So today India is marching ahead on energy of the youth, and we have that advantage. India is a young country, we all know, and we are going to be young for some decades to come at least. So this is your decade, it's your future, it's your India. We are all with you. Friends, I'm here for interaction with you. I like to hear your anxiety, your curiosity. If you have, please flag. I am here before you. I will try to respond as best as I can do. Thank you very much. Come forward.
Good evening, sir. I would like to know how to teach financial discipline for the young entrepreneurs, sir.
Say again.
I would like to know how would you guide the financial discipline for the young entrepreneurs?
Look, financial discipline is a part of your self-discipline, and which is a core. First of all, please sit down. You know, all of you present here, I'm sure each one of you will bear with me one thing, that whatever you have achieved because you had a dream and you had a determination to achieve it. And that's not enough. When you have a dream, you have a determination, it is backed by your self-discipline. Unless you have a self-discipline, you achieve nothing in life, nothing worthwhile in life. So, self-discipline, it means regulating your life, your actions, your conduct, managing your time, managing your finances. You know, when we have an objective, when we have a dream to achieve, you marshal all your resources to fulfill that dream. Your time, your energy, your finance. You don't like to just fritter away. You don't like to just waste it. Neither your time, energy, or finance. So financial prudence, financial discipline is core. Now, at times, when you are going into an uncharted terrain, no one has gone before, there is an element of uncertainty. What will happen? Whether you will get the return, whether it will sink you. The precious finances that you have with you, precious little finances that you have with you, whether it will sink. Friends, at that point of time, the prudence, your decision, your judgment. And you know, unless you have that appetite for risk, risk doesn't mean just blindfolded walking. When you take the risk with the eyes open, when you understand, when you appreciate the situation, the landscape, and then you say, okay, now here is the time I will invest it. There may be a situation, there could be miscalculation even then. It's not that nobody can move forward with an insurance in one's pocket. Fine, it's okay. It happens. Come on, move forward. Now today, for example, we know for certain that for the next 5 years there's going to be a stable government in the country. A stable government means a stable policy, rather stable policies. And if I have to make a call, I know that economy of the country is not going to sink. There can be slight ups and downs, it happens. But trajectory will be upward. So in the next 5 years that we have before us, with the political stability in this government, in the country, and policy consistency, also at the time that we have our financial institutions are robust. Today our banks are more robust than ever before. No longer they are burdened with NPAs. Today they have so much. And there is so much of liquidity available. I think this is the time to take a risk, if risk has to be taken. So go ahead with that. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. I'm Roja Rani. So, I would like to ask a question like, apart from business, family business, there are two types of business. 75% people evolving business out of their interest, creating their own business. 25% of people only following doing their jobs according to their education. They are following their education jobs. So, would you like to improve this situation, or do you encourage this situation, sir?
Look, doing family business is fine. If family is doing a business and you inherit that and you wish to further take it forward, then nothing wrong in that. And the course of it, of course, you like to take, when you are taking it to the newer heights, you may like to diversify, you may like to try new things. The other part which you said that some people are doing job according to this. Doing job, well, that way everything is business. Working for someone.
No, sir. Education system was not in a proper state like that. I'm asking, sir.
I'm not able to get your point very clearly ever. Do I come closer to you?
No, sir.
Okay, then. You don't have to be afraid. What's that?
So now,
hold the mic.
in
Others listening.
in our generation, every people started creating their own business. So, 25% of the people only following the business what they have studied. So many of them are doing business in the type of education is getting stressed. They are saying I'm getting stressed. So we have to change the education system like that. I'm asking, sir.
Okay. You asked about education system. Education, we are already changing that. You are aware of National Education Policy 2020. This is the first time in our post-independence, post-British India that we have got an education policy in true sense. Earlier education policies used to be a tweaking of what we had inherited. And what we had inherited was just you pass examinations, get the degrees and start flaunting the degrees and start begging for jobs. Now this is not what it should be. And so National Education Policy 2020, it fundamentally changed the whole thing, that every youth, every young person, every student must acquire knowledge and a skill which is useful to life, must be capable of critical thinking, must be able to chart a new course, have the courage and confidence. It's not just a knowledge which is borrowed from somewhere, from the books which you reproduce like a parrot, but it's something which you have imbibed, you have learned more and more experiential learning. That is why even in the engineering discipline, we are insisting that there should be more and more connect with the industries. At least one semester, a student of engineering must spend in industry soiling the hand, not going like a visitor and as a guest. You soil your hand and only then you learn. That is the whole thrust of it. And I'm sure this education policy, it is already, as it is being rolled out, is making the change. And it will bring about the changes in an unimaginable way. As far as the young people those who are saying that doing business and getting stressed, friends, stress, when you do, I do not know what we mean by stress. Sometimes people tell me that you must be very stressed. Sometimes my own friends, my own families, that sometimes they say, you must be very stressed. I said, do I look stressed? I don't. It is more of your own internal makeup. Stress is not given, it is taken. Like abuses. You may abuse me, I will not take it. You may try to give me abuse, I will not take it. That's the end of it. You be happy what you are, but I am not even affected by it. Not at all. So, as far as stress is concerned, my friends, you must know, and you must have the inner strength, that if it is a tension, constructive tension, it has to be part of it. Unless you do not grow, unless there is some amount of tension within, only then you require and move forward. But a stress that puts you down, I think that is something which you must learn how to, overcome. And better, if you are self-disciplined, means very clear about your objective and your time management and your finance management and your life management, I think most of the things will sort out. And if you come to think of it, no muscle of the body gets strengthened unless it is exercised, unless it is challenged. So challenges will come. More challenges, more you grow. That is how it should be. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. What advice you would like to give to the youth of Tamil Nadu to contribute in state's progress or nation's progress, sir?
I always tell the youth that you don't have to go for any big idea from somewhere else. What is a name? What is a state or a nation? It's made of people, we. If you grow, the state grows, the nation grows. When you grow, your family grows, society grows. Now the question is, what do I mean when I tell you grow? When I say you grow, you must, what is the expectation of the nation or the state? Expectation is that you must grow to your full potential. Suppose your capacity, your potential is to grow much larger and you are content with something small. This is suboptimal growth. Now suboptimal growth means even the nation will grow at that suboptimal level. No, that's not. It is neither good for you nor good for the state or the nation. So, only advice or only urge that I make it to the young people, grow. And I have repeated this several times to my young people when I tell them that you are at an age where you are like seed of a banyan tree. I don't know whether you have seen the seed of a banyan tree. It's very, very tiny. But in that tiny seed is hidden a mammoth tree. If you grow into that mammoth tree, that is your fulfillment, and that is the fulfillment of the nation. You grow to that. Don't get stunted. So when I say grow to your optimal potential, not suboptimal. Dare the challenge, dare the situation, and take bold decisions. Many times I feel, And you will find sometimes the people will say, I'm coming from a very rural background, I'm very poor, my family circumstances are like this, like this, like that. My friends, nothing worthwhile in life is achieved without overcoming such challenges. If something comes on a platter, it is not worth it. You know, it doesn't fulfill your life. I often tell my friends my own example. Coming from a rural background, I saw electricity only when I went to college. Rooftop, farming community, all the adversities, walking 8 kilometers every day to school one way. All kinds of adversities. Adversities, if you get bogged down by it, you won't face it. Challenge it, overcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Donna, your take on or your advice to entrepreneurs on equitable growth?
You know, when we say equitable growth, what does it mean? Today, our country, you know it, our country when our policy of growth, our policy of development, it has, there is a fundamental transformation from what was happening before Prime Minister Narendra Modi came on the scene. You must appreciate that fundamental transformation. Earlier the metric of growth was GDP. What is the per capita income? Now, if you take the GDP and per capita income, that as a metric of growth, you look at United States of America. Let's take the case. United States of America. A very rich country with a fairly high per capita income, but a country with almost a large number of, more than 1/4 of the population is homeless. Half the population doesn't have access to health care. Now, do we like that kind of development? No, we don't. So certainly GDP cannot be a metric, per capita income average, law average is not a fair metric of growth and development. Development has to be human-centric. When we say human-centric, it has to be all-inclusive. You cannot have pockets of absolute prosperity and then you have deprivation, which we have today in almost every part of our country, every part. Even in our own state, Tamil Nadu, which is fairly ahead of others, we have pockets of deprivation, we have malnutrition, we have starvation. It is a reality. Now, this kind of growth is not a sustain. It has to be all-inclusive. So, inclusive growth, when we say human-centric growth, is inclusive, and second is sustainable. When we say sustainable, means, you have growth that consumes so much of energy. Suppose you have certain sector where huge consumption of energy. It has a heavy cost on the environment. So when our development, our growth has to be, when we say sustainable, it has to be energy efficient. It must be circular. We should create so much of waste. It's not like, for very long time, let's say till a centuries or so. Before that, a century is too long, even shorter than that. Economic development happened by demand and supply. There used to be demand and there used to be people who used to produce to fulfill the demand. Today, It is supply creates demand. Now take the case. I'm sure many of you, all of you must be having this Apple iPhone. You have an iPhone. You have certain gadgets. By the time the other one comes, some of the features of this will become difficult. Either you will not get the charger, so you have to dispense with it. You have to create the force the demand on you to buy it. Now this supply-driven development or growth is not sustainable. It is upsetting the whole equation. So the growth must be inclusive, must be sustained. We are already facing, the world is facing a huge climate crisis. We don't have much time. Nobody talked about it about half a century ago. Half a century ago, when people went for the first time the Club of Rome in early 70s, when they thought of this, nobody took it seriously. Today, everyone talks about it. We don't have much time. So, we have to align our lifestyle, we have to align our development and growth in tune with sustainable environment. So the growth and development has to be inclusive and sustainable, which is human-centric. It cannot be just reckless growth. No, we don't encourage that. That is why there is so much of thrust in our country on sustainable technology, developing sustainable technology. We are going for so much of a green energy. Why? New technology for green energy. Of course, that's a primary ingredient for your growth. But all the allied technology, we go for sustainable. Thank you. Next.
Good morning, sir. Pratibha here.
Okay, yeah, right.
I would like to ask, how important is mentorship in the journey of entrepreneurs?
Mentorship is enough.
Thank you.
Mentorship is like guru. In our tradition, we always have maintained that gurus are important. They have huge experience. When you must realize that, and you know it as an entrepreneur, that you are doing something which you and people around you had not done before. How do you go about it? Now there, at every stage, you have the idea, broad idea. You have the energy, I must do it. You have to fulfill your dream. But how do you do it? You may also have the broad know-how. But devil lies in details. There could be a slip somewhere at the corner or somewhere where you don't expect, and that will sink. How to make the optimum use of your resources that you have. The mentorship is very, very important. And that is why I don't know how many of you friends, maybe many of you are aware, the government of India, relying on the youth energy, youth power, has created a portal, My Bharat. I'm sure many of you would have seen it. Pardon? Mandera Yuva Bharat, My Bharat. What does it have? It has 5 verticals. You connect with people, connect with institutions. If you don't have somebody nearby, if you have a mentor close by or who is there to assist you and guide you, nothing like it, you are blessed. But even if you don't have a mentor nearby, you can always get yourself to this through My Bharat. You have business. Business is one vertical, where you have people in the world of business who are available on that portal, who will be helped to guide you, to assist you, with whom you can share your concerns. You have youth portal, where you find a large number of youth who are registered, who could be thinking on a similar line. You can build a cohort even on that. This networking, it also helps. Now, mentorship is very important. If you have the mentor close by, nothing like it. If you do not have a close by mentor, still you have a mentor enabled through a digital platform. You can do that. They are very, very important. There is no doubt about it. Thank you.
Hi sir, thanks for coming to Madurai. My name is Kishore. I'm building a sustainable rice brand named Kind Rice. My question to you is, sir, I have a close friend of mine. She always has a different opinions and different ideas than mine. We always get into conflict. How can I solve this conflict, or how can I find a middle ground? I find it hard, sir.
No, are you in a conflict with?
Regarding ideas about business, life, and everything surrounding policies and everything, sir.
No, listen, first of all, the idea that you are pursuing, each one of you, first and foremost, you must believe in it. If you do not believe in it, then you are likely to see the miscarriage of it halfway. So, you must firmly internalize and believe this idea. And then, if somebody doesn't agree with you, somebody has some other idea, let somebody has it. You are not here to change the whole world. As an entrepreneur, you are here to make a difference. You are here to grow. And your growth, as I said, is the growth of the nation. If someone, that the other idea is coming in conflict and is coming on the way of your growth, then that is a challenge. That is a challenge that you must know how to overcome it. But as an idea, if somebody has some other idea, not necessarily, after all, we have countless ideas, and not all ideas are aligned. The history of human civilization is not consistent history of consistent ideas. You have conflicting ideas. You will be there. And what your idea is, what you are believing in today, perhaps tomorrow, and in future somebody may not agree with you. Forget about that. What you believe in, you must pursue it. Pursue it with full determination. Believing in it. Even if you get a setback, fine, try again. A setback is a failure only when you accept the defeat. If you do not, it is a lesson. It makes you stronger. Don't worry about what others say. You pursue your life.
Very good evening, sir.
Yeah.
I'm coming from the apparel business, sir. So we're doing a lot of products based out of Tirupur and Chennai and other places. We're doing for international brands like Zara, Adidas, Puma, Nike, all the top international brands. How are the ways by which the government can support us to compete these brands in their countries? Because we're making world-class products for them in their labels. How can we develop as a world-class brand and go and compete in their countries? Thank you.
Today we are in an age when we say that we make in India for the world. We don't make it just for ourselves. And we make in India for the world. It has to be world class. It has to, as we said, zero defect, as often Prime Minister says. Now, first of all, you have to ensure that the quality of your product, whatever you are making, is something which is enviable, which is something which is zero defect. That quality is very important. Once you have the quality, then it comes back the branding outside in the international market. Today, the government, through government, all our embassies, our high commissions are also acting, but at the same time, that's not enough. We are also leveraging our diaspora. the Indian diaspora in different parts of the world, and fortunately we have a fairly large diaspora. Leveraging their strength. Then, from here, non-government, people to people, business to business, creating awareness about our product in the international market. We are making efforts. For long we didn't do it. We had some teething trouble, but I can assure you that we are very clear in our mind that we are not making only for ourselves, we are making it for the world. So the product that you are making today, many of you are doing. In fact, our Tamil Nadu products are now seen all over the world. It is there. And new products, of course, you will find there will be some competition, is alright. But we are trying to create a more conducive atmosphere. First is creating awareness. So in all our embassies and high commission, we are trying to create a set of people, not necessarily who are just regular career diplomats or bureaucrats, but picking people from the society, from the industries, as a representative to be there, to create the awareness in that country, create the awareness about our products, about our brands. Creating awareness, showcasing the product, all this is leveraging the diaspora. We are trying to make all out efforts. And I think the situation is changing. In coming few years, it will change more favorably. Thank you very much. Yes.
So a quick question.
So we have a mic at the front and we only have time for 2 more questions. So sir, in the interest of time, can I have you start?
I'll go with my question, sir. Quick question. What is your standpoint on the rising geopolitical tension?
On geopolitical, I will come to that, yes.
Yeah. So this is apart from entrepreneurship. I have a small question for it. So in other countries, all male citizens have to be served in the military before going for the higher studies. So do we think in India also we need to serve for the military so that kids can get well aware of their health and the quality of food they can consume so that they can be more fit? Because nowadays, a lot of people are suffering from diabetes and a lot of health issues. Do you think this is mandatory for nowadays, the upcoming challenge for the new kids? This is my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, first I will come to your question, then there is a question on geopolitics, geopolitical tension, I will come to that. This conscription, a mandatory conscription, opinions are divided in our country. There are people who say it should be there are people who say it should be there. Now, actually, why do we talk about going to military? In fact, this our program or the project Agni-Veer. Agni-Veer was actually started this short term. Instead of making it mandatory, voluntary. Of course, the limited number, you come for about 4 years, serve in the military, you go out and live a life with which you have acquired the discipline, the confidence, the leadership, all that you have acquired in the military. With that, you come in the civil life. The idea was that, and the idea is that even today. Now, while I am not very confident where we will go for conscription, it will be possible with given the divided opinion. The question of health and fitness, you mentioned about the young people getting into lifestyle diseases. If you recall, in 2014, when youth policy was rolled out by the government of India, youth policy. Now the second youth policy draft is under preparation. So the 2014 youth policy, it laid emphasis on health and fitness. Of course, it laid policy on a skill and entrepreneurship also. But also the health and fitness. That is why Prime Minister started launching Fit India. Yoga became now international. You know, fitness, physical fitness is crucial. It has to develop as a habit. It is unfortunate that we find young people in the 30s and 40s suffering from hypertension, blood sugar, and all those problems. You know, I was in Nagaland. In Nagaland, you have two sets of people. One, elderly people, you have a lot of people who are above 100 years of age. And on the other hand, there are people who are dying at the age of 50s and 60s, early 60s. 50s itself, lifestyle. You see the difference between the lifestyle of the two people. The elderly one. The oldest man, 110. When I met him, he gave me a half an hour talk on how to remain healthy. So, it's a health and fitness. For that, you need not go to military. Military, of course, it tells you about discipline, but even that health and fitness that you have. Khelo India. Khelo India again is not necessarily that everyone who participates in Khelo India has to go and win the medal. We have to create the culture of physical activity, exercise, sports, physical fitness. Physical fitness is very crucial because, you know, there is an old saying in Sanskrit, we say, Sarira Madhyam Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. Body is the medium for doing all your works, all that you do. If you are healthy, so I think military conscription, I don't think it is any time in the foreseeable future is going to happen in this country. But better let us introduce, let us keep ourselves individually, keep ourselves healthy. A friend asked about geopolitical tension. You know, today we know that in the world today we have several conflicts, several wars. We have Russia, Ukraine, we have Israel, then Hamas. You have Hamas, Hezbollah, all the war going on in that. We have in our own neighborhood in Myanmar, we have a kind of military and civilian conflict is going on for the last several years. We just recently saw what happened in Bangladesh, a stable government which is going on, progressive government overturned by the crowd, and how the chaos is happening. As far as we are concerned, our country is concerned, there is a fundamental shift in our foreign policy, if you call it foreign policy, or to our outlook to the world. For a very, very long time, since independence, we took a policy, we will not be aligned, we became non-aligned. The country, the world was divided between two, Soviet bloc and American, so capitalist and socialist, communist bloc and all, we said we'll be non-aligned. Over the period, things have been changing and equation have been changing, global order has been in flux. But we were never certain. We were all the time reactive. We were all the time wondering what should be our. Today, for the first time in the last 10 years, we are moving with a clear head and clear direction. And that clarity is that first and foremost, our national interest, India's national interest first. There is no compromise on that. We don't get driven by or swayed by ideology. This ideology or that ideology, we are driven by only our nation first ideology. And for that, we keep a policy of multi-alignment. We are aligned with all. So long it serves our mutual interest and it does not add tension to the world. Already there are tensions, plenty of tensions around. We say we will not do anything and will not be party to doing anything, anyone doing anything, which adds more tension to the world. Take the case of Russia-Ukraine. What is our policy? We said, no, we are not neutral. Earlier we said, no, we are not on the side of Russia, we are not on the side of Ukraine. No. We are on the side of peace. And right from the beginning we said, war is not acceptable. A problem, any conflict, any dispute between the countries has to be resolved on the table, not through war. Total rejection of war. And we maintained it. Initially, some people said, no, America will be unhappy, Western Bloc will be unhappy. Somebody said, no, look, the Russians will be unhappy if you take it. We have the best of relations with Russia, we have the best of relations with US, and we have a very good relation with Ukraine also. We maintain it today. By maintaining this position, we walk the talk. Both the countries respected. When we wanted to evacuate our citizens, we asked them to stop the war. They gave us the window. We evacuated thousands and thousands of Indians from there safely. They respected us. Today, both the parties, they look at India as an option, as a country which can help us bring the peace. So, this clarity that look, war or violence is not an option for any solution. It must be rejected outrightly. And so violence is not necessarily overt violence between the countries, but even terrorism. We have been taken absolute, it is not acceptable in any form. When it comes to this Israel and Arab conflict, I mean not Arab actually, this Israel and Palestine, and in Lebanon, what happened between Hezbollah, our position was that while we reject terrorism in any form, this is not just not acceptable. We do not accept human casualties. An innocent life must not be disturbed. Innocent person must not suffer. That has been our position. Our position also is that to a state, that Palestine has a right to exist. It must exist. The two-state solution to which we are restored. We are very clear. Now, we have no problem with any of these countries. Those countries have no problem with us. Even in our neighborhood, Myanmar, we have a very clear, we say that yes, restoration of democracy is something which we all support, but violence is not an option. We have a reasonably good relation with our eastern neighbor, Myanmar. Now, so as far as geopolitical tensions which you see today in the world, the only way forward is the India's way. You know, G20, when we hosted the presidency of G20, we did a number of new things which was never done before. You mentioned about equitable growth, equitable development. We have always maintained inclusive world, inclusive growth, inclusive development. In G20, we took a position. First, our motto was one world, one family, one future. It is not shared future, it is one future. And in that, we ensured that African Union becomes part of the G20. A large mass of humanity living in deprivation, how can they be left out? They were made part of it. Why didn't it occur to anyone before? It didn't occur. It is in our DNA, in our thinking, that we cannot, by nature, exclude others. We would like to take the world as a family, which again we demonstrated even in our COVID. When COVID happened, what we did? The COVID hit the whole world. It was our country that, thanks to our scientists, that when we made the vaccine, we shared the vaccine with more than 150 countries in the world. This is our outlook to the world. This is what has given the credibility. Even in the climate, as for the green energy, sustainable environment, we are doing much better than many others. So we walk the talk. That is why there is a greater credibility of India in the international community. So geopolitical tensions, we are very clear about it, to be maintained, a very clear position, and as a result, the world looks at us, because so far they have been divided into camps. They look at the third country like India, which is not only has given a credible options, a way forward, but it is walking the talk. That's very credible. Thank you very much.
Thank you to the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
May I now invite on stage Dr. S. Velimani, founder Thyrocare, and the CEO of the Hindu group, Mr. Navneet Elvi, to please present a small token of our appreciation to the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu. This is on behalf of all of the entrepreneurs gathered here. Thank you, Dr. Velimani. Thank you, Mr. Navneet Elvi. I'd now like to invite the co-chair of YI Madurai chapter, Krishan Lalavar, to please present the vote of thanks.
Before the vote of thanks, let me just give a final message. A wish to all my young friends. I wish each one of you, and I mean it, because each one of you consider yourself beyond your personal self. You must realize that each one of you is a national asset. Never forget that. Keep that in mind. Whatever you do keeping that in mind. Because your success will mean nation's success. With your energy and drive, the nation will move forward to its destiny, and the destiny we all are clear where it is. Less than 2.5 decades, we have to be fully developed. So I wish each one of you, my young friends, the very best in your life, in your career, in your enterprise, and very happy family life as well. Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to deliver the word of thanks for this inspiring and successful ever leadership conclave on the theme Big. First and foremost, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed Chief Guest, Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Thru R.N. Ravi, for gracing us with our presence and delivering an insightful and inspiring address. Sir, your visionary thoughts on leadership have truly set the tone for this event and left a lasting impression on all of us. As we conclude, let us take forward the insights gained today and apply them in our leadership journey to create meaningful and positive change. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
May I request you all to please rise for the national anthem. I'd now like to invite the Madurai Adithanar College students to present the national anthem.
Ucchala Jalati Tara
Ladies and gentlemen, before you sit down, can I invite you all to please step forward? To the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, sir, we here at Young Indians have a tradition of taking a selfie with our esteemed chief guest at the end of every event. To all of our guests, please do step forward, join in the selfie, you're part of it. We've had an incredible speech that was truly inspiring by our Honorable Governor, so please join us up front. Please put on your brightest smiles. Get ready for your camera moments. To everyone at the back, please step forward. Do join in the picture. Thank you so very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, can I request you all to please remain in the ballroom as the Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu proceeds to exit. Once again, on behalf of YI Madurai, thank you so very much for joining us here for Reward 4.0. Today's conclave would not have been such a grand success without an audience as fabulous as you that was incredibly engaged with each and every one of our speakers. All of the questions that you asked, your participation was stellar. Thank you so very much. My name is Adithanar. Nandri. Vanakkam.